hi again, everybody. The high school football season is underway for 2013. The Robert E. Lee Red Raiders got off to a great start this past Friday night. Their first opening night win since 2007. The Red Raiders blew out Sulphur Springs 55-20 on the road. A great night for one particular sophomore quarterback. And Coach Darrell Piske, who's in his sophomore season as the head football coach at Robert E. Lee, is with us. Heck of a way to start, huh?
A little better than last year.
Yeah.
Didn't have to make any dumb decisions at the end of the game or anything. But no, the kids did good. They were fired up and excited. You know, they rose to the occasion, and I think we're going to be better this year.
All right, tell me about Zach Hall, sophomore quarterback. What a night, huh?
Well, he did. You know, that's pretty good. You can't have a better start than that. You know, hopefully he'll stay humble and keep working and stay focused and just continue to improve.
We'll look at some of Zach's numbers in a moment, but was he nervous? I mean, just, you know, when you run out a 10th grader as a quarterback, how was he?
I would think he didn't show it. You know, outside he doesn't show it, but I'm sure inside it's like a duck on water. Those feet were churning inside. The first couple of series, we made a bad read or two, and took us a little while to get our bearings and get going. But you know, that was probably just a result of him being a little nervous. 4
touchdown passes and 2 touchdown runs. What most impressed you about the way he played?
You know, really just the checks he made, and just, you know, being able to understand and stay calm during all the pressure of starting quarterback and all that kind of stuff, and being able to, you know, focus on what he worked on during the week, is seeing the defenses and knowing what we needed to do, and that kind of finding an open receiver and that kind of thing.
And I noticed, you know, maybe the first 2 series, kind of struggled a little bit to get his legs. He couldn't move the ball much, but once he kicked in, it was like a light went on.
Yeah, and that's what, you know, he misread a couple of things first couple of series and stuff, and like I said, it's probably attributed to nerves and stuff. But once he settled down, you know, with the cast of guys he has around him, it helped him, and so you know, he continued to improve as the game went on.
And he wasn't the only sophomore out there. You had, I think, 2 other sophomore starters, a running back, Devon Wesley, and a defensive back, Ajuan Barker. So there were at least 3, and there may be more this week, right?
Yeah, that's right. You know, and the kicker, Chris Bloss, he's listed in the program as senior. He's a sophomore,
okay.
So Chris did a good job, and yeah, those young guys stepped up. You know, but that's tribute not only to them, but to these older guys of embracing them and not being jealous of them, and, you know, just knowing, hey, whoever it takes to put out there to make us win games, that's who we want on the field.
And talk a little bit about, you know, the way, I guess the defense can get overshadowed a little bit when you put up 55 points, but that side of the ball, how'd they do?
Yeah, they did, you know, started off with just kind of matching scores, which, you know, really is one good thing I saw from the game, is we didn't panic when they kept matching scores. We just kept executing on offense, and then defensively we tightened the ropes up and was able to shut them down after that 3rd touchdown, so that was a good sign.
And just overall, besides Zach, I mean, Bryce Wilkerson caught 3 touchdown passes. He's a senior, and you in one night threw more touchdown passes than you did all of last year. What does that say about
Yeah,
this team?
I don't know if we scored 55 points last year if you totaled them all up. You know, I know we did, but you know, that's just good. That's when you're going to be able to run the ball like we're going to be able to run the ball. The O-line's doing a great job, and if they'll continue to do that, we'll be able to run the ball, which is going to open up the play-action pass, you know, and keep people honest. So, you know, Bryce and Marquiston, DeAndre, Paxton, all those receivers are going to have their chances to beat people deep, because they're going to be so focused on stopping the running game.
And again, I know that Zach had the big night, and I actually told somebody that this week that, you know, still don't overlook Devon Wesley. He is a special talent.
Yeah, Tavon, I mean, he's smiley. He's one of those guys. He's, you know, like I said, he's always, since I've been here, if the weight room's open, he's in it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a very physical runner and runs hard. I think he had 60-something yards the other night. And, you know, the next week it may be to where Zach doesn't have much and Tavon has 200 yards, or Marquand, or one of those guys. But, yeah, Tavon's going to be special. He, like I say, he's a young kid, sophomore, but besides running physical and having great speed, he's got good hands. He's not scared to block. He's smart, so he's got the whole package.
And Marquand Jones, speaking of that, another one of the young guys, had some good numbers, a couple of touchdown runs, big night for him.
Yeah, you know, I think Marquand gets, you know, they're kind of a good compliment to each other, because he's a hard physical runner, but he's not strong enough, big enough, you know, to line up, just run over somebody. And I think he gets lost in there, you know, behind those big linemen. He's about 5'7", 5'6", somewhere in there, a little short guy, but he runs hard and physical and he's got good speed, so they're going to complement each other nicely.
Now, the Trinity Mother Frances Kickoff Classic is always a highlight of the early days of September, and that's coming up this week. Thursday night at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium, White House and Chapel Hill play. And then Saturday night, of course, it's John Tyler and Lancaster. But Friday night, the Red Raiders and the Lufkin Panthers in Game 2. Lufkin's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought going into this year, you know, with what they had back last year and then went from last year and then went 4 rounds deep or something like that last year, really if they stay healthy, Coach Quick and those guys do such a good job over there, they got a chance to you know, 4 games, there's only 2 away from playing for it, so I think they got a chance to get to AT&T Stadium maybe.
Now we'll talk a little bit more specifically about Lufkin in a moment. There's videotape, of course, highlights from the Friday night win over Sulphur Springs. So why don't we roll some of that tape and take a look at how the Red Raiders and the Sulphur Springs Wildcats open the season again on the road. And Coach, just, you know, really what a fantastic night for you.
Yeah, that's right. Here's an example of team defense. You know, Tristan doesn't come to balance and make his play on his own right here, but all of his guys are hustling to the football. And then Sean Matthews and several others come to his aid. And, you know, just the team pursuit was a good sign. You know, we're going to get better defensively. And, you know, really early I thought we was just taking bad angles and we wasn't tackling well. And like I say, right here, Tristan doesn't just come to balance right there and lets him put a move on him. So we got to continue to get better at that. Guys we play against are going to be able to make that move, so we're going to have to be able to tackle them.
But the good news, you guys swarming, running to the ball.
That's right. All of them hustling and trying to get there and get to the ball. And you'll notice first game Blues, we have been struggling on our camera end on the first game, and there'll be some extra time in here. So we all had our, you know, we're no huddle, and we got 2 delay of game penalties or something. So.
It's a first game. Now here's okay. Let's
This is
check
Zach.
out.
They actually have Bryce circled here, but it's Marquiston, Zach to Marquiston on a, I don't know, 30-something yard gain. I thought it was 31 yards, something like that. Little bootleg route. You know, and number one, you look at protection. So it always starts with protection, and those guys up front did a good job of giving him time to find the open guy.
Yep. And again, in that no-huddle offense, have the guys adjusted to it well? I mean, it's what the kids seem to want to play.
Yeah,
right
I tell you, we were talking about it last night because, you know, you go through practice and, you know, hour and a half, 2-hour practice of no huddle, and it's just play after play after play. There's really not much standing around time for those guys. So, you know, I was pleased. Told our strength coach Compton that very pleased. You know, Friday night with our conditioning. We had a couple guys cramp, but nobody, you know, where they had to come out of the game. This is Zach here on another good read and run. You know, Tavon helped that out. The line did a great job. So really, you know, this guy gets to score a touchdown, but if the line didn't have good blocking and Tavon didn't stretch that in there, we wouldn't have a play. So. And
that's the unsung part about football.
Yeah.
Touchdowns are truly team.
Yeah, that's right.
Team events.
You know, offensively, if all 11 guys don't execute what they have to execute, you don't typically have a good play. Defensively, if one guy makes a great play, they can stop you. And so that's why offense just really takes all 11 of them.
So you get that. That's one of Zach's touchdown runs.
Yeah, here's Zach to Bryce right here, another play action pass.
And he was wide open on this play.
Yeah, that's right. Safety started backpedaling, was kind of creeping on the run. You know, in film we noticed their safeties were very active. And then Bryce is just quicker than the cat. It's going to be hard for people to cover him one-on-one.
Yeah. Once he gets that kind of lead, you're sure not going to catch him.
Yeah, that's right. And Zach did a good job, you know, putting the ball right on the money there. It's just another type version of that. But you look at your O-line protection, and just the motion play action froze that one defender enough to get it off.
And that happened in a hurry. And again, the first quarter was 21-13.
This is another Zach to Marquiston. Marquiston didn't really run his route very well, but that's why that defender was in position to almost make the play. He didn't set him up very well, but then you look and you see Bryce hustling down there and making a smart decision, you know, but he was hustling down to help make sure Marquiston got in the end zone. But again, you know, good protection, pass on the money. Marquista made a good catch. You know, so there's things we definitely got things to work on. That was the exciting part, is we won the football game and did it in pretty good style. But you look at the film, and most of the guys, this is Jared Tatum on the defensive side, did a good job at throwing that quick hitch out there, and he went through the defender and made the play. But our guys can see, based on film on Saturday, when we wasn't complimenting them the whole film session, that, you know, we're not going to be satisfied with just looking good one game and playing well. We want to get better every week. This is Amir Wilson here coming hill line. Sean's 52, Amir's 53. Amir's playing both sides right now. But you'll see in the type version, this is actually 53 Amir Wilson. And so Amir's doing a good job. Really, he held up pretty well for a big guy playing both sides of football Friday night, as hot as it was.
Starting left tackle,
yeah,
too.
That's right, that's right. Tavon Wesley here. Tavon makes a good run. Of course, to make a good run, again, you got to have good blocking. That was, you know, pretty good job of keeping his balance. Now, right here, yes, the ground caused the ball to come out, but, you know, we talked to him about securing the ball. We don't want to leave that decision right there into one of those guys in the striped shirts. You know, we don't want to leave it into their judgment. We want to leave no doubt. So we've got to do better on that. Here's Marquand. Comes in, and like I say, he's a good complement to Tavon. Tavon's pretty physical. Where Marquand's going to get lost in the shuffle, got good speed, makes a good cut right here on the dime. I think that's his next one, but he didn't have to make that cut. His touchdown later, he makes a pretty good cut.
All right, good stuff. Now,
but again, blocking off the edge, you look at the top, Bryce Wilkerson, you know, those receiver guys, he's doing a good job sealing that outside linebacker. Receiver up top, DeAndre Allen still locked up, just released his man there. So those guys are starting to figure out that not only catching the ball is important, but blocking is going to turn those medium runs into long runs for touchdowns. This here is, again, Zach Hall to Bryce Wilkerson. I think that was like a 22, 21-yard touchdown on a little tunnel screen. Bryce, I tell you, he didn't quite go the path he was supposed to go. You saw him go outside the guy that was being blocked outside, but he made him miss and took care of business on his own there. You don't really, you know, gripe about those guys when they do that kind of stuff, because you just got to let them go where they see and feel. Sometimes we can overcoach them. I've never been accused of that.
You've never been accused of that?
No. You know, Gordon Wood, a long time ago, my coach I worked for, old Craig Agnew, he played for Gordon's on his all-time team. This is Zach Hall making another good run, but they were asking Gordon on this blocking play about certain steps that he taught the kid, and he said, "What?" He goes, "I teach that kid, you whoop his tail, or I'll find somebody else that can whoop his tail," and that's how simple he made it.
Yeah.
Had a lot of success.
Yeah, had a fair amount of success, didn't he?
Again, Zach made a good read and a good run, but you look downfield and there's guys blocking downfield, and that's the difference in Zach picking up 12 to 15 yards. And actually, the play didn't go where it was designed to go, but, you know, his vision made it happen, and there's Marquiston Williams hustling downfield to make sure he got in the end zone.
And again, that ability to run opens up the passing game.
Yeah, it does. This is Teddy Matlock on the defensive side. Teddy's number 10. He's a counter cutback reverse guy on the backside, and then he does a good job tackling the open field there. Just another tight angle of Teddy making the play.
Got a
there.
very athletic quarterback, Sulphur Springs.
Yeah, I tell you what, that kid, whew, he's faster than lightning. So they'll definitely. I think the little running back went out early, and he was pretty good himself. This is Brandon Derman, timed his stunt pretty well. Made him hurry his ball there. So defensively, we're just going to get better and better. Like I say, we were taking some bad angles and not tackling well at times. We'll have to continue to improve on that, especially this week with Lufkin. You know, Sulphur had 2 or 3 guys out there that could hurt you. Lufkin's got about, it looks like when you're watching film, they got about 30 of them out there. I know there's just 11 of them, but
Well, they got 2 wide receivers, one headed to Texas and the other to Texas A&M.
Texas A&M, yeah. They've got their commits. This is Zach to Bryce again. They hooked up several times. But really here, Zach does a good job avoiding the pressure. We turned somebody loose here, and then he was able to get it off and get it to Bryce. Even the camera guys, Rusty, will get better at, the no huddle, it kind of throws them in a bind because they missed a play or two when we went to our hurry up.
How fast can you run a play if you're in hurry up? Every 10 seconds?
Yeah, you can get them off. It depends on how fast that guy set the football. But, I've watched Lake Travis last year in the state game, and really they're trying to push the official out of the way to snap the football. Mm-hmm. We have the ability to do that. We're not trying to do that at this time, but we'll be able to do it. Here's Desmond Dunn on the defensive side. And that's a good thing about the no huddle is you can change tempos. You can, a lot of people no huddle and they're not really pressed to rush you and rush you and rush you. But if they catch you trying to substitute and do things like that, they can put you in a bind with you snapping quick. And then it gives you just multiple tempos to where you can kind of control the tempo of the game depending on what you got going.
Again, the final score is 55-20
Josh
as we
Bice
continue.
Here. I believe it's the 4th down where he strips the ball and causes fumble, gets a fumble. Which was big for us because at the time the game still wasn't out of reach, and then right here I think we go score right here, and that that puts the game out of reach. A team like Sulphur that can score so quick, which would be like really I guess everybody we played looking down the road. You never know really when it's over. Really we're out of position there. We had 2 guys rush through the same gap, and then, Joshua Bice, just by reaching his hand out and making a play, kind of saved us there.
They got dinged up. He will not play this week.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. Here's the one where Marquand makes that nice cut. Good job reading the option, getting it off, and then bam, on a dime, he's heading the other direction. Again, if you didn't get hidden behind the bar on the window there, you see guys downfield blocking, and that's the difference.
But smaller guys like that really does work. They can almost hide behind the offensive lineman, can't they?
He, on the option outside here, they can find him. But, yeah, when we run our inside zone and stuff up inside, but, he's just so quick. And he's tough, runs hard and does all that. And he just loves playing the game. That's, we got some of these guys that it's, again, team defense here. We showed our blitz a little early there. But just a team pursuit, guys from the backside making plays.
Mm-hmm. See it again here. Who's coming here?
That's Derman coming on a blitz there. We showed it a little early. If you show it early, they just readjust their rules and pick you up, so we got to time that better. There's Marquand Jones again. I think he finished with 90-something yards on the night. But if you look at the edge blocking, you'll see it on the tight version here. Probably Bryce. Nope. That's Jonathan Wheeler right here blocking that linebacker, 23, sealing the linebacker. And Marquand makes that one guy miss.
And now you're knocking at the door.
Avery clueless. This is Trevor Carr. Little slant route here. Throwing it to Avery. Really, Trevor makes a good throw there, low and inside, away from the defender. Only guy can catch it's our guy. And Avery did a good job going down and catching it.
Very nice pass.
That's it.
And again, the final score was 55-20 as the Red Raiders rolled up well over 500 yards of offense in that ball game on their way to a 1-0 record. It's been a while since the Red Raiders have been 1-0. Been playing a tough schedule, and it had been since '07 since Robert E. Lee was at this point. So that feels good, but now you put that behind you. What does Lufkin have? What do they do?
Wow. Well, they got those 2 receivers that are committed, Texas and Texas A&M, and then the running back's good. And their O-line is huge. Their O-line, D-line, I don't know what they feed them out there in Lufkin, but both sides of the ball, their lines are just huge. And, of course, defensively, they got great team speed. They're going to run the football. They play a 4-3 defense, and so, their size up front scares us, and then just their overall team speed. We got to shore up. We had, I think, 11 penalties for 100-something yards last week, so we got to shore that up. We got to take care of the football again like we did offensively, to have a chance. I mean, because they're just tremendous on both sides.
Now, they also sacked the John Tyler quarterback, Gio McAllister, like 15 times. Now, Coach Holmes told me that part of it was Gio running into some of those and breaking contained, but still, that says that defensively, Lufkin can get after you.
Yeah, and you watch the film, and they can get after you. Right. They've got, like I say, they're huge up front. Their linebackers good. Secondary can just fly. Those big guys up front run really well. I mean, really, some of those guys up, they're big guys would probably be playing a skill position here. They run so fast. They got team speed like our little guys. So, a lot of it, some of it was, Gio running outside the pocket, but a lot of it was just those guys getting after it and the pressure and, hustling till the end.
What did it mean to these kids to win that first ball game?
Well, really, I was joking about it, after the game, and we finally got them to calm down. I thought maybe I missed something, and we just qualified for the playoffs or something with their reaction. But, where we've been, you got to let them enjoy it a little bit. But then reality's got to strike in that, that's just one step in the ladder of climbing back, to the playoffs where we want to go. So we let them enjoy it for about, 30 or 40 seconds out there after the game, and then, try to get them back focused, because we know what's coming with Lufkin and John Tyler and Texas High and then in the district. So, we got to enjoy it, but know that we don't want to just be satisfied with winning the first game.
In what area did you see the most improvement from last year, where you really noticed the difference?
Well, of course, scoring points. Having more weapons out there to be able to get it to stretch the defenses and put them in a bind to where now they got to cover everybody. But the biggest thing to me, I think, was really when they kept matching scores early, we didn't panic. The kids didn't. I was kind of inside. I was kind of going, oh, Lord. But, the kids didn't panic. When it was 21-20, we went ahead and finally got a stop, and then we went and scored and continued to do that. So, really, that was a good sign with us not panicking.
Yeah, and again, that game was close for most of the first half, but then your defense finally got a couple of stops and, in fact, pitched a shutout in the second half.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's good. That's
right.
I mean, so they're not going to get nearly enough credit maybe for the good things that they did because the offensive numbers were so gaudy, but in the end, how'd you feel they did?
They did good. They got better and better, and like I say, early it was angles and tackling. When you're going to no huddle, actually, they had 51 plays first half. We only had 33. And so that's a lot of the time when you try to speed this thing up and get in more plays, you also, if you don't execute, you give the defense, they're going to have to defend more plays. And so they'll get better. Our conditioning, like I say, I thought on both sides of the ball, conditioning held up pretty well.
All right. So before we talk about the Hall of Fame, you look good, you play good, right?
That's what the kids keep saying. I've never looked good, so I can't justify their response to that.
Well, the new look Red Raiders this year. Describe your new uniform. Tell me about this helmet.
Well, everybody, I'm not much into all that decoration stuff, but those young kids and young coaches are.
Here we go.
This is that matted black or flat black. Everybody's going with that color now. Either their colors, whether it's red, whatever, they go with that matted look or flat look.
Right.
But it looked pretty good. The new uniforms I thought looked pretty good. Like I say, I always have to get some of the young coaches to help me with all that fancy decoration stuff, and I usually let the kids look at it and try to help pick it out. And really, it turned out pretty good. And I think the red this week. Will look pretty good. And like I tell the kids, as long as our score is bigger than their score, I don't care what we have.
Don't care what
on.
you wear,
so
right?
They get all into that. So you gotta appease them a little bit and let them have a little fun with it.
That came from. I guess you can blame the University of Oregon for all this.
Probably, that's right.
Don't
all
they
that
have like
free Nike uniforms,
13 different uniforms or something like that?
Yeah, they kind of started the trend of mixing it up, doing all that, and you know, Penn State and Joe Paterno is kind of my style, just old plain. And
Alabama,
that's right.
Texas.
That's right. Yeah, so you can win without doing all this fancy stuff. It's been proven. But no, you know, just trying to get their mindset. We want to just kind of totally redo everything just to get their mindset of, you know, it's a new era, and trying to get them, you know, focused on, we don't have to continue to do the same things we've done the last 2 or 3 years, but we can start something new and get going.
And it's a symbol. Uniform is a symbol, but symbols do matter. I mean, they really do, don't they? The kids love this kind of stuff.
Yeah, they do. So, you know, like I say, we got to roll with it and have some fun with it.
All right, the Classic has become really a cool event, and you get the middle game. What do you expect out of Friday night? What do you expect out of Lufkin?
Well, I expect a really tough team. You know, like I said before, I thought Lufkin was a top 10 team going into the year, if not higher than that. And you know, they proved it last week because John Tyler's a really good football team, and they did a job. You know, second half on John Tyler, so they're going to be able to score, and they're going to be tough to score against. They kind of did the same thing. They got down 21-7, and then their defense, you know, kind of put the ropes on John Tyler, so they're going to be able to do the same thing that we did in the second half.
You could start, what, as many as 5 sophomores this week?
Could be 5 out there this week, which is a little scary, but at one time I think it was 6, so I feel better. Yeah, it's you know, but they got to step up, and like I say, if they weren't the best kid for that position, we wouldn't have them out there. So, you know, you got to go with what you got right now.
All right, and again, that game is at 7:30. Kickoffs at 7:30 on Friday night at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium. Thursday night, it will be White House and Chapel Hill. Friday night, Robert E. Lee against Lufkin. And then Saturday night, John Tyler in a rematch with a Lancaster team that beat John Tyler last year. JT got all the way to the state semis, and Lancaster got to the state finals. So there should be 3 great games. Now, one other thing to get to before we close out this week's show. On Wednesday, there was a news conference at the TISD Plyler building to announce the first ever TISD Athletic Hall of Fame. Hard to believe in a way that we've never done this, but for the first time it will happen. And that first class announced on Wednesday, the 4th of September, will actually be presented to the public during the Lee-John Tyler game on Friday the 13th coming up, and that'll be a really fun event. There were 12 nominees, 12 people selected to that first class. Again, you can't pick everybody, but you want to have a good first class, and so these are the 12 names, the first 12 in the TISD Athletic Hall of Fame. Earl Campbell, of course, is a no-brainer. You can't have a Hall of Fame in Tyler, Texas without Earl leading things off. This is also the 40th anniversary of John Tyler's 1973 Earl Campbell-led state championship team, so it seemed appropriate, not only individuals, but teams and contributors. So Earl Campbell, the 73 John Tyler team, Clifford Gregory, another name on the list, Robert Taylor, who went to Emmett Scott High School and won a gold and a silver medal in the 1972 Munich Olympics, one of those groups. Charles Milstead, who played a number of years ago at Old Tyler High School. He is in that first class, as is Billy Hall, who's held about every job you can have in the TISD, coach, principal, athletic director. He's done everything you can do in TISD. Dana Westbrook in that group. Mike Carter, who passed away many years ago, was a great baseball player at John Tyler. In fact, the high school baseball stadium is named after Mike. Alan Wilson, who of course led the John Tyler Lions to the 1994 state championship and got the Cujo tradition started. Alan's on the list. Christy Porter is there. Danielle Hernandez, a great soccer player at John Tyler, who also kicked and played in the Major Soccer League, the MSL, for the Dallas team and a number of teams, possibly the greatest soccer player to ever come through the Tyler ISD. And last but not least, Aaron Ross, who played for John Tyler in the 90s, maybe the most decorated football player to ever come through the TISD. National Championship at Texas and 2 Super Bowls and counting with the New York Giants. Aaron's still an active player in the National Football League. So that's a great group, and they are to be presented on September 13th when Robert E. Lee and John Tyler hook up at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium. What a very appropriate night to do that. The Lions and the Lufkin Panthers. Check that the Red Raiders and the Lufkin Panthers coming up Friday night at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium. For Coach Piske, I'm Bill Coates. Thanks for joining us.